Every time you dig your soil, you're making it worse. It feels like the right thing to do, turning it over, breaking it up, getting it ready. It looks like good gardening. And it's quietly destroying the very thing that makes soil productive. The best gardeners figured this out and simply stopped. No tilling, no turning beds over each spring. They do something else instead, and their soil gets richer every year while they do far less work. I know how wrong that sounds, because digging is the first thing most of us were ever taught about gardening. So let me show you exactly what happens underground every time that fork goes in. Because once you see the damage, you won't want to do it again. Healthy soil isn't loose dirt. It's a living structure, and it has 4 things working in it that digging destroys. The first is the structure itself. Good soil is full of tiny crumbs and clumps, aggregates, held together by roots, fungal threads, and the glues that soil microbes produce. Those crumbs create a network of pores that hold air and water and let roots move through easily. When you dig, you shatter all of it. You smash the crumbs into dust. And here's the cruel twist. That broken-up soil collapses and packs down harder than before. Which is the whole paradox of digging. People dig to loosen compacted soil, but the digging is what causes the compaction. Break the structure, and it slumps into a dense layer, so you dig again, and it packs down again, round and round. The fork is causing the problem it's supposed to fix. The second thing digging destroys is the fungal network. Healthy soil is laced with beneficial fungi, mycorrhiza, that wrap around plant roots and extend their reach, feeding your plants water and nutrients in exchange for sugars. These networks take a whole season to build, and they're fragile. One pass with a tiller or a fork rips them apart. You're tearing out a feeding system your plants depend on and starting it back at zero. The third is your soil's richness. The organic matter, the humus, that dark stuff that makes soil fertile. When you dig, you flood the soil with oxygen, and that oxygen makes the microbes burn through organic matter far faster than normal. It's like throwing fuel on a fire. You get a brief flush of released nutrients, which is why dug soil looks good for a few weeks, and then the richness is gone, oxidized away into the air. Every time you dig, you're spending down your soil's savings account for a short-term hit. Dig year after year, and the soil gets progressively poorer, no matter how good it looked that first spring. And the fourth thing digging does is wake up weeds. Your soil holds a buried bank of weed seeds, thousands of them, lying dormant in the dark. They can't sprout without light. When you turn the soil over, you drag those seeds up to the surface and expose them, and they germinate in a flush. That carpet of weeds 2 weeks after you dug a bed isn't bad luck. It's the seeds you brought to the surface yourself. I covered exactly how that light trigger works in my video on no weed mulching. It's on the channel. But the short version is, digging plants weeds. Stop digging, leave the seed bank buried in the dark, and your reading drops dramatically. So look at what one dig actually costs you. Shattered structure that packs down harder, ripped out fungal networks, burned up richness, and a fresh crop of weeds. All from the one task we were told was essential. That's why the smartest growers stopped. They realized digging isn't building their soil. It's tearing down everything the soil builds on its own. Now, I can already hear the obvious objection. But I dig for real reasons. To loosen the soil, to mix in compost, to clear the bed, to get it ready for planting. Fair. Those are exactly the reasons everyone digs. So let me go through each one and show you the better, no-dig way to get the same result without any of the damage. Let's take each reason you dig and replace it, one at a time. Reason 1. You dig to loosen compacted soil. This is the big one, and we've already seen the paradox. Digging causes the compaction it's meant to fix. So what do you do instead? You let the soil loosen itself, from the top down, with two things working together. First, you lay organic matter on the surface, compost, mulch, and you let the worms pull it down. As I've covered before, worms are nature's tillers. They create channels through the soil in every direction as they work, aerating it far more gently and thoroughly than a fork ever could, without shattering the structure. Feed the surface, and the worms loosen the depths for you. Over a season or two, soil that was hard and dense becomes crumbly and open, and it stays that way because nothing is smashing the structure anymore. Now, if you've got genuinely severe compaction, a hard pan, heavy clay that's been driven on or trodden for years, there is one no-dig tool for that, and I want to be honest about it rather than pretend you never touch the soil. It's a broad fork. You push its tines straight down into the ground and rock it gently to crack open the deep layer. And crucially, you do not flip or turn the soil. You're just opening fissures for air, water, and roots to get down, while leaving all the layers in place. It's the one acceptable intervention, used rarely, when soil is badly compacted to start with. After that, mulch and worms keep it open, and you never need to do it again. Reason 2. You dig to mix compost and amendments into the soil. People assume nutrients have to be dug in to reach the roots. They don't. In nature, organic matter is never dug in. It falls on top, and it works downward. So you do the same. You lay your compost, manure, or amendments on the surface as a layer, and you let the rain, the worms, and the soil life carry it down. This is the entire principle of no-dig. You feed from the top. The nutrients move down to the roots on their own. The worms incorporate the organic matter for you, and you skip all the damage of digging it in. A 2-inch layer of compost spread on the surface does everything digging it in would do, and more, because it also acts as a mulch while it breaks down. Reason 3. You dig to clear weeds. We just saw that digging actually creates weeds by exposing the seed bank. So the no-dig approach flips it completely. Instead of digging weeds out, you smother them out. To clear a weedy area, lay cardboard or a thick mulch over it and block the light. The existing weeds die off underneath without seeds being flung everywhere, and because you're not turning the soil, you're not waking up the next generation. For the occasional weed that does appear in an established no-dig bed, you simply pull it. In that loose, undug, mulched soil, weeds slide out easily, roots and all. No-dig gardens are famous for how few weeds they get, and this is exactly why. Reason 4. You dig to prepare a bed for planting. The belief is that you need bare, turned-over, fluffed-up soil to plant into. You don't. In a no-dig garden, your planting surface is the layer of compost sitting on top, and you plant straight into that. Seedlings go right into the compost layer. For seeds, you just part the mulch and sow into the surface. The bed is always ready. There's no spring ritual of turning everything over. The soil is already open, already fed, already structured, because you've left it alone and let it build. Preparing a bed becomes nothing more than spreading a fresh inch of compost on top once a year and planting. So there it is. Every single reason people dig, replaced. Loosen it. Let worms and mulch do it. Broad fork only if it's badly compacted. Mix in amendments. Lay them on top and let them work down. Clear weeds. Smother and pull. Don't turn. Prep a bed. Plant into the compost layer. The bed's always ready. 4 reasons to dig. 4 better answers that build the soil instead of breaking it. Which leaves the practical question. What does actually running a no-dig garden look like, day to day, season to season? Because it's almost embarrassingly simple. And there's one honest point about getting started that I want to make sure you hear. Running a no-dig garden, season to season, comes down to one repeating habit. And that's genuinely the whole maintenance routine. Once a year, usually in autumn or early spring, you spread a layer of compost over the top of your beds. An inch or 2 is plenty. You don't dig it in, you don't mix it, You just lay it on the surface, and the worms and the weather take it down over the following weeks. That layer feeds the soil, feeds the plants, suppresses weeds, and tops up the organic matter, all at once. Then you plant straight into it. That's it. That's the entire yearly cycle. Spread compost on top, plant, harvest, and add a little mulch through the season to keep the surface covered. No digging, no turning, no bed prep beyond that single layer. And here's the part that makes it the opposite of conventional gardening. A dug garden has to be redug every year because the structure keeps collapsing. The work never ends, and the soil never really gets ahead. A no-dig garden goes the other direction. Every year you leave it undisturbed, the structure deepens, the worm population grows, the fungal networks spread, and the organic matter builds up. The soil gets richer, looser, and more productive the longer you leave it alone. Year 1 is good. Year 3 is better. Year 5, you're growing in some of the best soil you've ever touched. And you got there by doing less every single season, not more. Now, the honest point about getting started, because I won't pretend it's instant magic. If you're converting a patch of hard, compacted, or heavily dug soil, the first season is a transition. The worms and the structure take time to recover, usually a full season or two before the soil is really transformed. You don't dig your way through that transition. You mulch and feed your way through it, and let the underground life rebuild on its own schedule. If the ground is severely compacted to begin with, that's the one time you might use a broad fork. Once, as I mentioned, just to crack it open, and then never again. After that initial patience, it only gets easier because the soil is doing the work you used to do. So the deal is simple. A little patience up front, then years of richer soil for less effort. That's a trade worth making. And if you're starting a brand new bed from scratch, over grass or weeds, you don't dig that either. You build it on top, in layers, exactly the way I covered in my video on building soil without turning a compost pile. Lay cardboard, stack compost and organic matter on top, and plant into it. That video's on the channel if you want the full build. The two ideas are the same philosophy. Stop disturbing the soil, start feeding it from above, and let nature assemble it. Step back and look at the whole picture. We were taught that good gardening means hard work, digging, turning, breaking up the soil every year. And it turns out that work was actively making things worse the entire time, shattering structure, ripping out fungal networks, burning off richness, and planting weeds with every turn of the fork. The gardeners with the best soil quietly stopped doing all of it. They feed the surface and leave the rest alone. The worms till, the fungi spread, the structure builds, the weeds stay buried, and the soil gets better every year, while the gardener does less. That's the real lesson, and it ties together everything on this channel. The most powerful thing you can do for your soil is often to stop doing things to it. Stop digging, stop turning, stop fighting the living system underground, and start feeding it from the top. Nature spent millions of years learning how to build soil, under every forest and meadow, with no one digging anything. And your garden will do exactly the same the moment you get out of its way. So this season, put the tiller away. Don't turn that bed over out of habit. Spread a layer of compost on top, plant straight into it, and let the soil start building itself. Then watch what happens over the next few years as it gets richer, looser, and easier, all because you finally stopped digging. I want to know how big a shift this is for you, because for a lot of people, digging is gardening. It's the part they've always done. So tell me honestly in the comments, how long have you been digging or tilling your beds every year, and are you actually willing to stop? 5 years? 20? Is this the video that finally gets you to put the fork down? Or are you not convinced yet? I genuinely want to hear it. Push back if you disagree. And if you're ready to go no dig this season, type GROW in your comment so I can see who's making the switch. Then like the video so it reaches the next gardener who's been breaking their back and their soil for no reason. Stop digging. Feed the top. Let it build itself. I'll see you in the next one.